Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball and College Baseball with me. And always with me is Will Power as the old time. How's it going over there, Will?
It's good, man. It's good
Where
to have the original 2 back together, man. I
we're kind of lagging right now, dude. I mean, we're live. It's fine. It's good. It's all gravy. So I'll go ahead and play this intro. I know the Dodgers are still playing, but we'll talk about it after the intro, of course. Well, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're all right. We'll get started. I mean, we were supposed to go on out after the Dodger game, but the Dodger game's already 10-2. It feels like it's not happening the way that the Mets wanted to go. For a lot of people out here in LA, they're watching baseball, but there's not watching big time uh, baseball like we're used to. I guess the Padres series was more interesting. The series is still not over. I mean, once these three outs are recorded after the bottom of the ninth, then we'll know if the Dodgers go 3-1. They're winning 10-2. But it's kind of crazy right now. It's kind of crazy to like talk about a series that the Mets were so high on. They were pitching, they're hitting, and it just kind of collapsed as the time went on. For the Dodgers, it seems that they're doing what they need to be doing. They're clicking on all cylinders right now. They're doing small ball, long ball. I mean, Muncy has gone on base consecutively for 12 times. It's like 12, what is it, 6 walks, 2 home runs, a single. It's like, when are you going to get this man out? I guess he just got out not too long ago, but it's crazy to see the Dodger team do this. They're clicking at the right time. Ohtani is doing what he needs to do. Um, I mean, let's talk about the AL before we talk about the NL. And there was a crazy game today in Cleveland. If you didn't get to see it, I mean, Aaron Judge went Oppo Taco, and then you had Stanton hit a home run after him to tie the game and to take the lead. And then you had John Kinsey. Oh, well, let me see if I can say his name correctly. John Kinsey Noel. He hit a 2-run bomb in the ninth with a strike. I feel like the Yankees don't have their bullpen is one of the things that we've been talking about a long time coming, and that they needed to work on that bullpen, and it's showing right now in the playoffs. And they are in Cleveland, so it is cold, but it's also cold in New York. So I feel like the Yankees right now, it's like they need to continue to hit. They need to get more runs for their pitchers, and their bullpen needs to get it together, because Cleveland kind of woke up with this game. Because if you have a team that's not hitting in New York, and you go to Cleveland and they start hitting home runs to catch up, to tie the game, and then to hit a 2-run home run at the end to win it in extra innings, then we have a problem. So I feel like Cleveland is waking up at the right time. Vogt said that they are in a good position. They're going home. They're going to be home. They're not going to be playing in Yankee Stadium. And when they play in Yankee Stadium, I guess everybody feels that a little bit more stress, because the Yankees are the top team and the top tier team in the MLB. So when you go to their house, it must be a little bit stressful. So big ups for the Cleveland Guardians. I was going to say Indians. Cleveland Guardians. They're doing good. They're doing what they're supposed to do. So I mean, if you guys have any questions, you guys can put them here. I'm by myself right now. I'll get Will back up. He needed to restart his computer, but as we wait for him, we'll talk baseball, of course. And any more? I know there's more highlights on the game and that I saw, but when you talk about the Cleveland Guardians and how they're hitting, and when you have this team waking up and they're at home, they have 2 more games in Cleveland. The Yankees need to watch out with this. And I'll go over their box score, because I found it kind of interesting that um, pretty much they had everybody playing today. From Quan, he had two walks, and when you have your leadoff hitter get on the base, he can create havoc. He can do what he needs to do on the base paths and gives a little bit of open leadway to the other well, go guards. Hey, what's up, Neto? How's it going, man? Then you have Masalo that he hit two. He had two RBIs. David Fry. He came in as a pinch hitter. So imagine that he came in as a pinch hitter, not the home run one, but when he hit the home run, there was someone on base and he got that two RBIs. And then you have Ramirez, where he's always doing what he needs to do. He can't do it himself. And then you have Naylor. He went over 5 on that one. You can't have the big hitters go over for offers. So I feel like this is going to be a thing where I think these other players from the Cleveland Guardians are going to wake up. And I can't say enough. Noel just for the pinch hit home run. Now he came in the ninth and he just hit a bomb. So uh, I will not sleep tonight. All right, man. I'll just put it out here. So let's put it more up here. So many things to talk about. There's a lot of things to talk about. If you want to go ahead and put it on there. So there he goes. He goes, Will, right here. He just started off. Let me put him back on. Will, what's going
Yo,
on, man?
what up,
What
man?
happened?
Sorry, man. I don't know. Something's happened with my laptop right now, but I'm on my mobile right now. So as soon as my laptop comes back, I just restarted it. So I'll get back on my laptop whenever it's back up and ready.
Okay, so I was just talking about the Guardians, how they were doing and they're going over all the box scores with them. So I was saying that the Guardians have a good momentum going, especially at the end when they hit that home run to win it in the 10th. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was not a ghost runner at second base. So the rule that happens during the season, it does not apply in the playoffs for some reason. And I was looking into it. I try to look for the rule book, try to see why that's not happening or if it's happening after a certain inning, because I remember in 2020 that's when they and I guess they enforced the rule, right, to have a ghost runner at second base. And on playoffs, I believe, I don't know if it's true, but I believe in the 12th inning that's when it's going to happen, when they put the runner at second base. This was the
In the
10th
12th.
inning, and I believe I need to look at the rules because I couldn't find anything on the rules on for playoffs. I know for the season they'll do it after when it goes into the extra innings. So that's a crazy thing, dude. I don't know if you know about it.
No, I had no idea. I just assumed that it was going to be the same rules as the regular season. In the 10th inning, you get that extra runner on second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So did you hear the home run call though?
Yeah, man.
I'm not gonna repeat it. Neto just put it down here. So I mean, dude, it was like Christmas came early. I mean, if you guys can have a chance to go listen to it, David Fry hit a bomb, and it was just, I mean, he knew coming off the bat that was gone. And I mean, every baseball player heard that sound of the bat, and even the Yankee pitchers and the Yankees were like, "Oh, this is it." So I want to ask you, Will, before you start your computer. I mean, you're still on your phone, and we can still hear you. What do you think of the momentum? Do you think the momentum changed for Cleveland on this from this game forward?
I think that this was the game that Cleveland had to win because even though Clark Schmidt was pretty good during the regular season this year, he's not the guy to take them to the next series, you know? So I think if Cleveland was going to jump on the Yankees, today was the day to do it. And they did. You know, they didn't score all their runs against Clark Schmidt. They actually scored it against Luke Weaver,
Yeah,
above all guys, who has actually been a great closer for the Yankees in the past couple months. You know, he kind of came out of nowhere. He used to be on the Diamondbacks. I believe he was on the Braves when he first came up. And he was always kind of regarded as like a top prospect, but he was a starting pitcher. And now as a closer for the Yankees, I mean, he's gone through like a lot of health issues, you know, since he came up. And this was like 10 years ago. A lot of people don't realize he's been in the league for a long time. And, like I said, he was a top prospect, but it just didn't work out for him. Maybe the longevity of trying to stay in the game for 100 pitches 30 times a year, it just wasn't in the cards for him, man. And now that he's only pitching maybe 3 times a week, 1 inning at a time, I think that's great for him. I think that that's actually helping him get all the potential out that he can.
yeah, yeah. So I honestly feel like the Yankees are gonna. struggle a little bit with the bullpen, and I'll tell you why. It's a little bit colder in Cleveland than it is New York. They're going traveling between cold places. They're traveling from, and they're not traveling from east to west like the Dodgers are with the Mets. But I just feel that for some reason the Yankees haven't found their closer, and they thought they found their closer with Weaver, but he couldn't shut the door today.
No.
And that momentum, to me, I feel like Cleveland's going to step it up from here on out. Vogt, the manager, did say that this is where they start. They're in a good position. I know they lost the 2 games out in New York, but because they're going to Cleveland and they started Cleveland today and they got that big win in extra innings, I think this is a momentum shift. And I mean, a lot of baseball fans don't want to hear that, right? They want to see the Yankees, they want to see the Dodgers, which the Dodgers haven't finished their game, but they're about to. And we decided to get on a little earlier because it's just I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you think it was a snooze fest?
I mean, towards the end, you see the Mets fans with their faces in their hands, and a lot of empty seats now. So everyone knew the game was over like 3 innings ago. Once Mookie Betts hit that home run and just put him over the top, it's basically game over. And actually, I think the game just ended right now. Just saw an alert saying that they're only 1 win away from the World Series, man. World Series.
This one
Yep.
here. Yeah,
Yep.
that one there. I see that. And when it happens, I think I'm just gonna go live. I don't know, TikTok, Instagram, not one of those. We'll go live and we'll talk baseball. It's either me, Will, or whoever's gonna be on. We're gonna go. I guess we're gonna do all social medias. We'll make it right now, Will. When they win that next game, it could be tomorrow. It can be what is the next game? Sunday. We just
Sunday.
go live. Yeah, we just go live on one of the platforms, and we'll just talk baseball right there.
Well, maybe Sunday, right? Because if they win tomorrow, then they don't have to play on Sunday.
No, they don't have to play it. So tomorrow it's a 2 p.m. game out here in the West Coast. That means it's a 5 p.m. game in the East Coast. So
I love
you guys
that.
get perfect timing out there. And it's a
Well,
traveling day. It's a traveling day. That's why. That's
Yeah.
why they're playing early. So I mean, if you have time to check it out, check it out. And then the Yankee game is going to be at 5 p.m. here in the West Coast and at 8 p.m. East Coast. So I don't know if you're going to stay up for that game, Will.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. My work schedule changed a little bit, so I don't have to go in at 4 o'clock in the morning anymore. I get to sleep in a little bit. So staying up late, it couldn't happen at a better time, during playoff baseball.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk Dodgers, I guess. I mean, it's 10-2, middle of the ninth. I guess they're going to the bottom of the ninth. Has it been as exciting as the Padres series for you?
No,
And we'll talk. Yeah.
not at all, man.
Okay.
That Padres series had me afraid. I was scared. I said it in the beginning of the postseason, even during the wild card series. The Padres are going to win, and then we're going to face the Padres, because of seeding. And that is the team that I am afraid of the most. It's pitching, it's hitting. They have everything, man. I think the Padres and the Dodgers are the most well-balanced teams, and that was probably the best series of this whole postseason to watch.
Yeah. I believe so because when he I said that the Padres was going to go all the way because they were the team that was clicking in all cylinders, and I kept saying that throughout all the shows that we had, and they were the team that was clicking in all cylinders. But then look who caught on fire right on time. Looks like the
Yeah.
Dodgers are clicking on all cylinders right now, and hopefully they can carry this on for tomorrow or for game 4 or for the win to go to the World Series and into the World Series because you can't just go one more game and win that and then forget about the World Series because you still have to go play the World Series and you still don't know who you're playing. That must be tough too, right? Because when you get into that situation, it becomes a thing where do you want to win right away? And a lot of people say, and a lot of people speculate, oh, they're not trying to win here in New York. They're trying to win out in LA. That doesn't happen. That's not true. You're trying to win the game whenever you get that chance to win it and close it out. That's when you're going to do it. You're not trying to wait another day to try to like not do what you need to do. So, for those of you thinking that, oh yeah, they're just going to lay down and then let the Mets win tomorrow. No, it's not going to happen that way. You got Jack Flaherty going tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be a bullpen for the Mets, maybe Manaea will get the 3-day rest and go in and throw in there so they can match up. So we'll have to wait and see, because Carlos Mendoza is not going to stay quiet. He's been with this team. He's been trying to push them to do the best he can. And I mean, he's doing the best he can with what he has, just kind of like Dave Roberts. So, what's up, Will? You already on the computer? I think you're on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my computer is kind of stuck. So I think I'm just going to do the rest of this on mobile.
On mobile? Neto saying Mookie just wants to go bowling. Yeah, I think so. He just wants to finish it up and then rest, go drink some beers, rest up, and then get into the World Series. But I'm one of those guys that I have to see all these games won before I start saying, all right, they're gonna go to the World Series. So let's get these W's and before we move on. All right, you good?
Hey, am I good? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, you're good now.
All right,
you're
cool.
good.
All right,
Yeah. You can shut the other one down.
Yeah. I got the uh-oh. Did I freeze again? I think I froze.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Just go back on the phone if it does happen, though. I mean, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, I guess that's what you want to call it. But yeah, we'll wait for Will to get it settled in there.
All right, I think I'm good now.
You're good? All right, cool. All right, so here goes a tough question, man. I feel like maybe if the Dodgers do make it into the next series, which is the World Series, do you think it's too early for them? Because we don't know what's going to happen with Cleveland and New York, which is the Yankees. Do you think they're going to go into that scenario of waiting for a team to win and get that momentum back going, or you think that they need the rest because they are injured?
I don't think they need the rest. I think we need to. I think any team has the advantage when they can just keep the momentum going. That's what the Mets had going for them. Going from the regular season, being one of the best teams towards the end of the regular season, going into the postseason, they were having so much success because they were building momentum, and they just kept on building it, and it stuck with them. So I think that's what's really going to take the Dodgers into the next step. And the Yankees, they could close out the series soon also. It could be a short series with Cleveland only winning one game so far. The Yankees only have to win 2 more also. So is it going to happen in Cleveland, or is it going to take it back to New York? I don't know. Either way, I think both teams. I honestly, it looks like it's going to be Dodgers and Yankees World Series, which is going to be ratings galore. But I think that both teams are going to be they're going to have disadvantages because they didn't really see each other too often during the regular season. So they haven't had a chance to really see all these pitchers. And then in addition to that, it's like the time off. Like that's one thing that I hate about the bye week, man. The bye week, I feel like you lose a lot of momentum that way. And that kind of had that's one of the things that had me worried about the Dodgers going against the Padres in the NLDS, because you lose your timing. For pitchers, it's great. Have a little time off. You stay fresh by doing your bullpens, 15, 20 pitches at a time. Starting pitchers, they have their routines, and they go through, they have to wait 5 days between starts anyway, but hitters,
Yeah.
You got to be on a daily basis and maybe have 1 day off in between, like a 7-day stretch. Having 4 days off, 5 days off, it's not really the best thing for hitters, and it's a little scary. But I think both teams, the Yankees and the Dodgers, are both going to have a little bit of time off in between the CS and the World Series. So I think both teams are going to have that disadvantage. I think it's really just going to come down to pitching. I also believe that the Dodgers have better pitching than the Yankees do, starting pitching and relief pitching. In the Yankees rotation, I see Garrett Cole and I see Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon was nasty, man, a couple days ago in game 1. He looked really good. He didn't stay in the game too long, but his slider was working. His fastball was on point. He started off a little shaky in the first inning, but then he kind of like got his control back. So I think Garrett Cole and Rodon are like the two that maybe you would have to worry about. The Guardians also, man, because they're going to be facing them soon. And then on the flip side, the Dodgers have like 3. Bueller's finally kind of like coming into his own. He looked pretty good the other day. And Jack Flaherty has been great since he joined the Dodgers, and Yamamoto has been looking great ever since he came back from the IL. He only went like 4 innings, a couple starts, but then now being able to go 5-6 innings, that's going to help out a lot because the bullpen's being overused right now. We saw was it Blake Trinan and Evan Phillips both going more than an inning tonight. So I don't think either one of those guys is going to be available tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see what Dave Roberts is going to do.
Well, I mean, I don't think they need him tomorrow. I think Jack Flaherty has it taken care of for tomorrow. I mean, I'm not calling they're going to win it tomorrow at all, but I'm just saying Jack Flaherty held his own in Dodger Stadium, going 7 innings strong, and he did what he needed to do out there. I'm pretty sure if anything, he might throw 5, 6, and then you bring in the bullpen. So the bullpen for the Dodgers has been lights out. That's one thing that the Dodgers have kind of been pushing through the whole season. Remember, we lost a lot of pitchers in the season to where we at now. It doesn't feel like we deserve to be in the position where we're at. So for the Dodgers, their bullpen is what's carrying them through, and I don't think that Dave Roberts is going to hold back. If he has the chance to close it out tomorrow, he's just going to throw everybody in, because then you have rest days after that. So for the Yankees and Guardians, I still feel like the Guardians picked it up today. I don't think it's going to be as easy for the Yankees because they do not have a good bullpen. They don't have a closer. They don't have someone that can finish it off. You're talking about Rodon and you're talking about Garrett Cole. Like, those two guys are their 1 and 2 punch. They don't have a 3 and they don't have a 4. So I think the bats for the Cleveland wasn't awake in Yankee Stadium. It woke up today, and we got to see an exciting baseball game out there in Cleveland. And like I said, I think this is going to be a battle now, because now you have the best 3 in Cleveland and you have the best 3 in New York hitting against each other, which we wanted to see a home run derby type playoff game, and we got it today, right? So
yeah, that was awesome to see, man. From both games, you know.
Yeah.
I actually saw. I think it said that there were 7 home runs within a half hour of each other. From the first home run to the last home run, there were 7 within a half hour. And it all started with Ohtani. I think it was Ohtani that started it. It might have been Judge and Stanton. I don't remember what time the Stanton and the Judge home run was.
That happened before. So that home run happened before Ohtani. So the first home run was Judge to tie the game, and then Stanton to go to take the 1-run lead. And then the next home run was Ohtani, and then it went back to Cleveland to
in the next inning.
Vientos, yeah.
And then I don't know how late the John Kinsey Noel's home run was, and then David.
It was just right after, because it was that happened in the 8th inning. So yeah, I don't know if David Fry's home run was within an hour, but man,
I don't think
it was a lot of home runs at the same time. We were like, wait, should we post this? What should we do?
I'm like trying to like screen record and like do all these things and pay attention to both games at once. I sent you a picture of me having like both games on my TV at the same time, you know, like it's
How'd you do that?
It's a special app that I have on my TV where I'm able to just have 2 channels at the same time.
Cool.
I can actually have 4 channels at the same time. It's pretty awesome.
That's dope, dude. Hey, so let's get to the predictions, man. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow with Cleveland and I guess the Guardians versus the Yankees? Who's going to take that game 4?
Did they announce the starting pitchers for tomorrow?
I believe they only have the pitcher for the Yankees, and let me go ahead and put him out here.
Because I'm assuming it's going to be is it Tanner Bybee going?
No, tomorrow? It's going to be Gil and Gavin Williams.
Oh, Gavin Williams, that's right.
Yeah.
Gavin Williams, I think the Yankees
struggled in the season.
He struggled in the season. Yeah. Not only that, but he got hurt and he wasn't playing for a while. and his innings got cut short. So they weren't even planning. They didn't have him on the ALDS roster because of the innings limit. And then now because of the injury to who pitched yesterday? Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
No, I think it was game 1. The pitcher from the Giants.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. Why am I blocking off? You guys know his name? Let us know. This is not good, Will.
No, man. I'm gonna look it up right now because I actually had it in my notes from earlier too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Luis
Cobb.
Cobb. There we go. Alex Cobb.
So with the injury to Alex Cobb, then it opened up a roster spot for Gavin Williams. So now they have that fourth starter available for game 4. But like you said, man, Gavin Williams, he wasn't all that great this season. He was really good last year, but we also haven't seen postseason Gavin Williams. So what type of pitcher is Gavin Williams going to be in the postseason? If he's the guy that we saw last year, then great. Cleveland has a chance. But honestly, I don't know. I think the one thing that he does have in his favor is it's a home game. That's going to help out a lot because Yankee Stadium is like a little league ballpark and balls just fly like crazy over there. So I think that would be a much tougher challenge for him. But I think pitching in Cleveland, he might do okay. But I think the Yankees are going to take it tomorrow.
They take it tomorrow?
I don't even think it's going to be close.
So Luis Hill is going for the Yankees. He's had a 3.50 ERA. I didn't see him at the end of the season as much as I did at the beginning. When remember he had some lights out stuff. Maybe with this atmosphere that's going into the playoffs, he'll do really good. I don't know, man. I still see the Cleveland Guardians bats waking up this series. I think it's gonna go 2-2, and I'm gonna go with the Guardians on this one, only because of how they won today. And that momentum usually carries, right? It carries on to the next game. I know it's not going to be the morning game like it usually is. Usually when you have the night game and you go to the day game, you usually wake up and you keep hitting the ball right. Now is the late game. So that's what happened with the Mets in the first games out here in LA when the Dodgers bashed on them the night before, and then the next day they bashed on the Dodgers. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But I'm picking the Guardians on that one, dude. I can't. It's not that I'm saying that the Yankees aren't going to win the series. It's just I want to see the Guardians. Maybe they did wake up, and it's going to be even harder for the Yankees to get through the Guardians. All right, let's go to the Mets and to the Dodgers. Who do you got for tomorrow?
The Dodgers. I think it's going to be and I don't want to say it's going to be an easy win, but I kind of have to say it. I think it's going to be an easy win because that's what I truly believe. I think that Jack Flaherty, in his first start in the postseason, he didn't look too good. It might have been jitters because he's never been in the playoffs before. But then game 2, he came out and he pitched great, man. I think he went 7 innings, and he let the bullpen rest their arms because he was just so good. And I think that the same thing is going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah. I think the same thing. And I just feel like the Dodgers have a better team. They have, like I said, they've been clicking on all cylinders and they've been doing the right things at the right time, getting base hits. Look at Buncy. He got 12 consecutive times getting on base. That's a record.
That's a record.
Yeah. So like those type of things are happening, and you have Kike hitting the crap out of the ball. And you just have, like I said, everything clicking at the right time. And what else do you want? What else do you need for this team to continue to play that way?
You need Freddie Freeman. He wasn't in the lineup today.
You could probably even rest him tomorrow.
Maybe. Because we're up on the series 3-1. It might not be a bad idea to rest him up and try to get him healthy before the World Series happens. But then it's like, do you really want to force that game 6?
No,
I don't know if you want to force that game 6, man. So putting Freddie in the lineup tomorrow ends the series early, and then he still has like another 5 days to rest before the World Series starts.
Yeah, because the World Series don't start until Friday of next week. Doesn't start this week, and next starts the following. That's a long time. So they're going to be resting up pretty much a whole week before they start playing real baseball again. So this is a type of thing that it kind of sucks. But if the Yankees win tomorrow, that's a done deal. They're going to move on. And it's everybody's wish that's going to come true because everybody wanted the Dodgers and Yankees to face off in the World Series. I don't know if you've seen the commercial. It happens every 3 innings where they have the judge commercial with the Ohtani commercial. They're both of them are in one same
Yeah,
commercial. You seen it? So
yeah.
I don't know. Are they pushing for it? Are they telling us something?
MLB wants it. And MLB wants it. The whole country wants it. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there that are going for the underdog. They want Cleveland to win, but I don't think it's in the cards, man. I think that the American League Central is still one of the weakest divisions, even with the Tigers and the Guardians all both making it to the postseason and playing
And the
great
Royals.
baseball.
The Royals,
And
don't forget.
Royals, yeah.
Yeah.
All three teams are playing great baseball within their own division, you know. But then when it gets to the postseason, inexperience shows, you know,
Yeah.
experience shows and inexperience shows. And especially when you have a lot of young guys on the team that have never been there before, they don't know what to expect. The crowd is a hell of a lot louder in the postseason than they are in the regular season, whether it's home or away. Even Kike said it on after the division series that he's like, he's been to the postseason 11 times and or 11 series, and this was the first series that they finished off in LA, and he was just saying that the difference in the noise from the crowd, it just pumped him up so much. You know,
Yeah.
it's great to win at home, but then I don't know, it's still exciting to win on the road, right? But it's just a different kind of feeling. You know,
Yeah.
you're surrounded by people that love you versus, you know, the people that want you dead because you just demolished their team.
That's true. That's true. Well, Kika is not a stranger to playoffs, and he's been proving it today. All these series, he saw last series and now this series. And the reason he's getting playing time is because Rojas is an IL and he's playing. He's getting in there. So if Dave Roberts doesn't put him in the lineup, a lot of Dodger fans are going to be pissed off because he is hitting the crap out of the ball and he's doing what he needs to do. I wanted to ask you, Will, before we log off. I mean, it's not going to go all the way the hour because there's only 2 games we can talk about. Right? But I know that I wanted to ask you, do you feel like there's a disrespect for fans in Dodger Stadium? Because everywhere you listen to or you're talking about teams going into that stadium, like the Dodgers going into Met Stadium, then saying that, oh, it's going to be super loud. We'll see what reaction they get. Like, why not talk about the Mets when they go to Dodger Stadium? Are we not that loud? As fans, we're not loud enough for that team? Like, we're super loud. Like, what are you disrespecting us for? Like, do you feel like that's a disrespect?
Um, maybe, but I don't really care, you know, because I don't really care what other fans think about our team, you know, and I feel like other fans should be like that too. You know, what I really love about this series, though, is I don't hear this beat LA chants. Every other series that we've had, you know, it's the Padres or even the Phillies. When we played the Phillies, it was beat LA. Now that we're in New York playing against the Mets, I haven't heard a beat LA chant, you know, and that's great because they're not setting their eyes on just beating LA. Mookie said it in the beginning of the season that any team that faces the Dodgers, it's going to be their World Series. And it was for the Padres, right? You heard beat LA every single game. Sorry, you didn't, and you can't. Better luck next year. But with the Mets, I gotta respect the Mets fans, man. You know, because they're there because they are genuinely supporting their team. I feel like a lot of Padres fans are just bandwagoners and they jumped on because of all the hype around this season. Now, if there are fans out there that are, you know, diehard Padres fans, I love that. I love to see that. I love to see diehard fans for any sports team. I don't care if it's even teams that I hate, like the Giants or the Astros or whatever, because you know your shit. You know, if you can if you walk around like your ish don't stink, but you can back it up, like, all right, fine. You know, I'm cool with that. You can be a cocky bastard as long as you can back it up. But then if you can't name me, you know, the starting rotation from the Padres 5 years ago and you call yourself a Padres fan, like, come on. It's the same thing. Like, I saw a video of there was a guy going around Dodger Stadium and he was asking a bunch of fans, like, all right, who do you think is the Dodgers' biggest rival? You know, he wasn't asking today who's the biggest rival today. Like it's what team do you hate the most? And you could tell the difference between like the newer fans versus the fans that have been there since the beginning. There was like 5 people that said Giants. All right, cool. Thumbs up to you. And then there was a couple of people that were like, oh, Padres. Like, Padres are a new rival. They're not our biggest rival, maybe this year, but then also you had some other people that were like Astros, and I'm okay with that answer too. I don't think that anyone should say that the Padres are the biggest rival for the Dodgers. Maybe if you only count the 2024 season, and maybe even last year too, 2023, because things got heated last year and the past couple years, because finally the Padres are good. Finally, the Padres are actually like giving us a run for their money.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there. I think this new rivalry is a bigger rivalry now than it was for the Giants. We haven't seen the Giants in the playoffs only one time. So we've seen the Padres in 2020, we saw them in 2022 and we lost to them, and we saw them in 2024. So we've been seeing the Padres a lot more than we have the Giants for this rivalry, because it is a new rivalry. We have the old rivalry, which we don't really see as much anymore. I like to see the Dodgers play the Padres. I like to see the Dodgers beat up on the Padres, and that's what the rivalry is becoming. Ernie had brought it up to me like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, you're right. It makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm becoming one of the persons that are saying, like, yeah, it is a rivalry. It's a rivalry where it's becoming to where I want to beat the Padres because of so much crap that they talk to us about, like always talking, saying that, oh, we suck, that we only have the Mickey Mouse ring. And they get to certain Dodger fans and they start talking their crap. So that rivalry there is it's just starting, and we're witnessing it. I think we should be happy for this rivalry, you know?
And I love that you said that. It's just starting,
Yeah.
because the Padres have never really been the team.
Mm-mm.
When you think about California teams, Padres aren't the first team that comes into your mind. You think the Dodgers and Angels, or even maybe the Giants, or the A's, depending on like where you're like coming from. But the Padres are somewhat of a newer team. They haven't been around that long. So not as long as like a lot of other teams out there. They were there before the Diamondbacks, before the Rockies, but how long has it been? Maybe like 40 years, something like
I want
that.
to say they're here from the 60s, so it's way more than that. It's like
Oh, like
50, 60
60
years
years.
now. Yeah. Yeah. So they've been around for a while now.
60 years and no World Series. They made it to the World Series, but they haven't won yet.
No,
You
they
know,
haven't.
to
They
have
haven't.
that much amount of time, they do have the team to make it to the World Series this year. They're going to have to make some moves in the offseason to really solidify that, but they made a lot of really good moves this year. Getting Luis Arias from Miami, and a couple bullpen arms that they were missing. They boosted their rotation. I love it, man. I love to see that, because for me, I hate when I see the Dodgers just run the division, just run through everyone, because
Yeah.
then it doesn't prepare them for the postseason. It's like if you just keep on getting easy matchups, it's like a boxer, right?
Yeah.
A boxer that goes in and just takes like these all
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, you got stuck. Yo, yeah, you got stuck.
Oh, sorry, man. Could
Oh,
you
there we
still
go.
hear me?
Yeah, no, I didn't. You was like, blah, blah, blah,
And
blah, blah.
internet. Hate
You're
that.
back now. You're back now. You're back now. All
All
right.
right.
So I want to read this. Real rivals get murals at Dodger Stadium. Unfortunately, yeah, we do have like a mural there at Dodger Stadium. They have a big glove, and there's missing a finger, so that's dedicated to us. So that's still there. It's still gonna happen. So, but yeah, it's cool for the sport. It's good for the Dodgers. It's good for the Padres. It's good for everybody. I think this rivalry it was the most watched game when Yu Darvish pitched against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, dude. Like, it was the most watched game in a while. So it's attracting a lot of people. So
I saw a graphic today that US households, there were over 7 million that were watching that game. Japanese households, over 11 million watching that game.
damn, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
That's a lot.
awesome though, man. That's
Yeah.
so cool to see that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like we can't shy away from that rivalry. We can't say it's not a rivalry. It's a new rivalry. It's just starting. But
Hopefully the
we're
Padres can keep
witnessing.
it up,
We're
man.
witnessing. We're
Hopefully the Padres
witnessing
can keep it up because it's fun. It makes for good TV. It makes
entertainment.
for, it's very entertaining, especially with all these like crazy defensive plays. You know, like I know you're all about defense, man, but I love watching diving plays like Lindor. I hate to see him make those plays, but I love to watch him make those plays, man. He's
Yeah,
so smooth, you know.
it's
It's
really
like
smooth.
and you know, a couple other defensive plays like Profar. Profar had some really good defensive plays in left field during the division series, you know. That's a lot of Chinitos. Hey man, Chinitos play good baseball, bro. Hideo
Yeah.
Nomo, remember Hideo Nomo?
Yep. That the tornado. Heard they don't know more.
Ichiro, man, we got generations over here, dude.
Yeah. All right. So Dodgers tomorrow. They win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yankees. They win tomorrow for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Yankees and Dodgers tomorrow.
All right. And I know you want to see that in the World Series. I do too. There's no hiding it. I'm not gonna even try to be like, oh well, the Guardians maybe have a chance. I'm not gonna be like TBS is or FS1 trying to say the Mets have this going and they're gonna be there. I'm like, nah, dude, I don't see it, man. I don't see the Mets playing the way they did against the Phillies. I don't see the Guardians playing up to par with the Yankees. Yeah, they have this little momentum, and that's why I'm saying maybe the Guardians will take tomorrow and maybe I'll be wrong, but if they do take it tomorrow, do they have enough to take the whole series? I don't think they do. I think the Yankees still have their number one and number two coming again, and they're going to dominate the series and they're going to win it. All they need is two more wins. So yeah, I think TV is trying to make it bigger than what it's supposed to be. It's just the
Yeah.
the pathway for the Yankees, and I'm gonna say it. A lot of people were saying it. It's easier to get to the World Series, and for the Dodgers, it was a little tough. But now they hit the Mets, and the Mets are running out of steam. I think, and that's where that easy path for the Dodgers is going through. They're scoring a lot of runs right now. So I mean,
Scoring a lot of runs, and the Mets are not scoring a lot of runs right now. So
no,
in the whole series so far, the Mets have only scored 9 runs total, and that's including the 2 from today. The Dodgers scored 10 runs just today.
yeah,
You know, and
yeah,
and the Dodgers shut them out in game 1 and in game 3, and then only allowed 2 today. So it's I think it's a pipe dream for Mets fans. Sorry for any Mets fans that are watching, but you know,
yeah,
at least hey, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never have loved at all, right? It's better that your team made it to the playoffs, even if you don't win the whole thing. You know, there's always hope, and then there's always hope for next year. You know, I think signing Pete Alonso is going to be a great thing for the Mets. You know, signing him to a long-term deal. That would be awesome. I think he's going to re-sign with the Mets now that they made it this far, man. That's going to be a huge signing. I know he wants to hit free agency to try to like drive up his price tag, but he hasn't really done much in the postseason either to kind of drive up his price tag. I think they're willing to give him the long-term deal. Probably not for as much as he would like, but I don't know. Maybe he'll just take a 1-year deal like Blake Snell did with the Giants and try to like, be amazing and get that big deal the next year. But he's getting older, man. And I think he can always hit, those 40 home runs, 50 home runs. I think he's going to be one of the premier power hitters of the league as he has been in the past few years, home run derby champ a couple times. But I don't think that any team is really going to be able that I don't think any team is going to want to pay him what the Mets will be willing to pay him.
that's true. All right. Well, we reached that point in the show that we're gonna say our last mentions. Will, uh, we haven't got on in a long time. This was fun. Talking. We only had 4 teams to talk about. So how are we gonna talk way more about baseball? I mean, we can talk all night baseball, of course, but we have other stuff to do tomorrow. So we'll see if we can try to get on another day that's before Sunday. Maybe you can hop on with us on Sunday so we can talk more baseball. We already we'll probably see the World Series by then, and we can talk about the previews and the matchups and stuff like that. I think that'll be fun. But last mentions.
I don't think I necessarily have a last mention, but I do have a last question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So I know you're big on like asking people like, does Barry Bonds belong in the Hall of Fame, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But now with Pete Rose, with the death of Pete Rose, what does this mean for his chances of getting into the Hall of Fame now? Like, I know he's not on the ballot anymore, but they do have that like players association that could vote him in later on. That's probably the only way that he can get in. And do you think it'll happen? And do you think he deserves to be in?
All right, so it sucks that now everybody's talking about it, of course, and now that question is asked around everywhere, and I know for sure that when Pete Rose said that he wanted to be Hall of Fame, he wanted to go into the Hall of Fame alive. He didn't want to go in the Hall of Fame when he was gone. Why? Because he's not going to be there. He
Yeah.
wanted to be, and he wanted to represent baseball. He wanted to be, uh, I mean, Johnny Hustle, dude. He's the one that had those records of hits. He's the one that hustled through the whole bases, even in the All-Star game. So he played his ass off on that field. I know what he did off the field sucks. He didn't admitted to it until 2000. I forget 2004, 2000. I remember the year, but it sucks for him that he did that. I feel like he does deserve it to be in the Hall of Fame, but now it's kind of like what's it for now? Is it for your family? What is it for? Like you didn't do it when he was alive. You suspended him and you banned him for life. And I mean, someone's gonna uplift it. We probably might not even see it. It would happen later on in life. And if we do get to see it, are we gonna be happy for it? I mean, maybe. But as of now, I feel like it's gonna suck because they should have done it when he was alive, and he already, said he was sorry that he did it. He shouldn't have done it. And I think for baseball, they still need to know who he is because he had those amazing records, and I think he does belong in the Hall of Fame. But like I said, I think it sucks that that now he's gone and he's not going to be able to be part of those celebrations and stuff like that. Maybe for his family, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like he's not here anymore, and I mean, what can we do, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, do you want him to be in the Hall of Fame? I know he did other stuff, and I mean, listen, everybody has a life outside of baseball, outside of work, outside of school, outside of the playground, whatever, right? And yeah, it might be the worst thing in the world to do. I mean, to be convicted of certain things or be even approached to like those people saying things about you. But with that said, on that field, that man he was Johnny Baseball, dude. Like he was one of the greatest, and you got to give him that credit. You got to give him that credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think I think he just shot himself in the foot, and he should be in the Hall of Fame, but unfortunately there are consequences to every action. If the president of the United States, grabs a gun and shoots somebody, are we going to be like, well, I guess we forgive you, so we're going to let you stay the president? It's like, well, like where do you draw the line? Do you draw the line at gambling? Do you draw the line at burglary? Do you draw the line at killing someone, at sexual assault? Like where's the line drawn? I think MLB has the rules in place, and the rules were there when it happened. So I think that he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. His stats deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but him as a person, I don't think he deserves it, man. I think he messed it up for himself, and unfortunately he's gone now, but the consequences have come to life for him.
yeah.
Give it to him for his old timers. That's my mom right there.
Hey, I'm an old timer too, man. I want to see him in. So
I think the baseball fan in me wants to see it also, but also it's like I can't get over, someone blatantly doing something against the rules and just getting everything they want. That happened in 2017. I have to bring it up, man.
Exactly, and that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say exactly. And yeah, it seems like every time we get together, we bring it up. But if you're gonna say that about P Rose, what happened in 2017? What happened to Beltron? He's reinstated to play baseball again, or I mean, not play baseball, or he can coach and he can do everything affiliated with MLB. Shouldn't he be banned from baseball because of what he did? So one of the things that I wanted to say is that baseball is a sport where you shouldn't bet. But when you have all these things around you that you can do it so easily, MLB is sponsored by all these bet programs and all these casinos. And like, why are you getting money from all these casinos and bets and all these things, but your players can't do it? I get it. You can jeopardize the game, but maybe find a way to not, I don't know, publish it in front of them, because it is enticing. It is easy for you to do it. So, I mean, I don't think he threw a game. Did he throw a game? I don't think he did. If anything,
He
he
always bet
betted
on his team to win.
exactly. So he needed to prove and show and play harder to get that W. Right. So what's wrong with that? And that's where I feel like that's where it's wrong. But I mean, everybody is going to have their own decision. But like I said, he already passed away. And to me, now it's going to be like, now you're going to give it to him? Like,
What's the point now?
Yeah. What's the point?
The only people that would benefit from that are Cincinnati fans, and maybe Pete Rose's family.
Yeah. And that's who it's going to be. This is what it's going to be for the family, because they're going to have that wrong. I mean, there's 50-50 fans saying, "Oh, we want them in," and then there's another 50 saying they don't want them in. So, I mean, it's going to be a long debate. It's a good debate. It's a good question for sure, man, because you can have me talking about this forever.
So,
yeah.
We're supposed to have Pablo Sandoval come on the show within the next like a couple weeks or so. So
nice.
I'm going to bring up the question to him too.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
See what a real major leaguer thinks about the whole Pete Rose situation.
Yeah, and I mean, if we talk about that, steroids has to be part of it, right? Steroids,
for sure.
The Astros, like all these things. The Black Sox back in 1919, I believe, or So all those scandals that happened,
and I'm going to borrow a line from a lot of Astros fans. He's not the only one that did it. He's just the one that got caught, right? Because a lot of Astros fans say that, well, the Dodgers were doing it too, and the Red Sox were doing it too, and the Yankees were doing it too, right? They were the only ones using cameras in center field to steal signs, you know. But there are a lot of other teams that do cheat as well. We just don't know it. Using a trash can, that's some crazy stuff, man. I'm surprised they didn't get caught until 3 years later.
Definitely.
There was players that knew, like there's videos now surfacing like, hey, they're banging a trash can every time our pitcher throws a fastball. They're telling like their base coaches. So they knew. It just wasn't brought to the attention of the world until 3 years later with Mike Fiers finally blowing the whistle on him.
Yeah. They were just trying to say that about Ohtani when he struck out. I believe it was yesterday. He struck out and he looked at the dugout and he was kind of surprised what pitch they threw him. That's what the Twitter says. And they're saying that the Dodgers are cheating, that Ohtani knew what pitch was coming, and then he looked at the dugout because they gave him the wrong pitch and he got fooled. Well, it's not true, because when he was looking at the dugout, it was because a time violation on the pitcher wasn't counted, and he struck out on that pitch. So people are just trying to make stuff up right now. They're trying to bring everything to where it makes the Dodgers look bad. It's just the Dodgers are going on all cylinders right now, and there's no cheating going on. Hopefully there's not. I'll knock on wood on that. But yeah, there's no cheating. Yeah.
Ohtani looks at the dugout after almost every pitch. And there's a lot of times because it'll be like an outside pitch that's a couple inches out of the zone and it'll be called a strike. So he kind of looks in the dugout like, was that a strike?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons that he could be looking in the dugout. I think people are just fishing for something to talk crap about.
Here's a question. People ask me if baseballs they use for Ohtani are mess with. What do you think? They do change the balls for Ohtani. I think they change them because they need to keep track of the ball if he hits it out. Because almost all home runs are becoming records for Ohtani. It's becoming the first home run. It's becoming the longest home run. It's becoming the home run that reached the third deck or the upper deck. So there, every ball that Ohtani hits is pretty much like a record ball at this point. So that's why they change those balls. I don't think they're messed with, in my opinion. But I'm not MLB or anything, but like I said, it's just I think it's just record base and all these things that are happening with Otani. That's why they have that ball and they change those balls.
I haven't heard anything about messing with the balls or changing the balls. I'll have to do my own research on that. But I did
Check it out though. Check it out. It does happen.
I will.
Yeah.
But I did see that Ohtani has the 6 hardest hit balls of the postseason, starting with 118.7 miles an hour to 117.7 miles an hour. So 6 of them. 6 of the hardest hit balls. When you also have Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge and Pete Alonso all in the same postseason. So he's hitting the ball harder than anybody else. So it doesn't really matter what type of balls they are. I don't think they're being messed with, but you can tell he's hitting the ball harder than everybody else on that field.
His swing is violent, dude.
Oh,
Super
man.
violent. Yeah.
He has one of the weirdest swings to me. I don't like his swing at all. It doesn't look fluid to me, but he puts a lot of freaking force into it. And he has such good hand-eye coordination. It just works for him, man. I think Juan Soto's the same. Juan Soto, I don't really like his swing either. It's not pretty, but
for a lefty, that's true. Yeah, I feel the same way. they should have they lefties usually have a sweet and smooth swing. And I get what you're saying. I agree with you.
They turn on the ball and they know how to hit the crap out of the ball. It works for them. So don't fix what's not broken.
Definitely. Been Ohio fan since the Drew Casey show. All right. Nice. Hey, we reached that point.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
Yeah. Cleveland rocks. All right. Well, we're going to log off. Thank you guys for being on here. I like when the comment section is just going. I mean, it makes the show a lot better. It makes the interaction a lot better. I know we talked playoff baseball. We got into a little bit of the Pete Rose conversation, which was a great question. Like you heard from Will, if you don't know who Pablo Sanchez? Sandoval. Pablo Sandoval. Damn, I should know that name. The Panda from the Giants. There you go. The Panda. He's going to be on the show. And if you guys can be on here and ask all these questions, we could probably ask him a question as well. So, yeah, man, you already said your last mentions. I already said my last mentions. So, let me see if there's one more thing over here. 56 minutes. Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to get on for 40 minutes, but then it got interesting talking about other stuff in baseball. So,
always does.
Yeah, always does. Especially when we get on, like we start talking about certain other stuff, which makes it a lot of fun. All right, from all of us here on Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Will Power, Real Talk Baseball. Signing out.
See ya.